Welcome to Tuttle Talk, a part of the Real Estate Radio Network. And now, live in studio, offering you a fresh perspective. He's your local real estate and finance expert. He's part of the Common Sense Party, and he's committed to teaching you how to win in any market. Your host, Andy Tuttle.
Good afternoon and welcome to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network, where we teach you what the rich and the banks do, not what they tell you to do, and where we show you how following a few key principles really can free you up to focus on the other more important areas of your life, like your friends, your family, and the community. The most important hour of radio right here every Sunday on 660 a.m. from 3 to 4 p.m. in the great state of Texas. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. Thank you so much for joining me today on the show. Are you in a distressed sale? There are a lot of definitions for a distressed sale. I'm going to tell you how to find out if you're in one and what's happening on the streets. We're going to get to that with some of our experts in the real-time real estate segment of our show. And here's a good one. How do you know if you're living smart? You live healthy, right? Maybe you're financially doing well, but are you living smart? We'll talk about that with our estate planning expert, Matt Aycock, and he's going to give you a little quiz today, and we'll see how you do. And also, we've got a new segment. I think you're going to really like this. It's More Cool Tech with your tech guru, Brian Moore. He's going to be here on the show. We're going to start doing this at the end of every show. There's so much cool real estate and finance and other tech out there. We're going to give you some really great tips. I think this is a really cool app, guys. You're going to really want to stay tuned for this. It's neat. I can't wait to share it with you. But I don't want to steal your thunder, Brian. You can reach me during or after the show on our off-air hotline, 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. 9696. You can also email me questions at andytuttle.com, and you can get into the conversation on facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. Matt and Gabe, all of our expert contributors, we're involved in the conversation. We're there to reach out to you, answer your questions, and you can get updates, insights, try to do some motivational stuff on there as well. So we try to really fill that with a lot of good content to enrich and improve your lives the best that we can in the small part of your lives that we are blessed to be a part of. So when you call the hotline, by the way, the guy on the other end of that phone or the girl is going to ask you a couple of basic questions, and we just need you to answer those. The idea there is that I've charged these guys and girls to answer those questions to help make sure we're setting you up for a prosperous financial future. So a quick call can really get you set up on the right path, and we're so happy and privileged to be able to do that. Gabe Abshire joins me on the show today. Gabe, thank you for being here.
Excited as always, Andrew. Highlight of my week.
I mean, I can tell he's basically laying down with the mic there, just as relaxed as you could possibly be. I mean, I'm about to fall asleep looking at you right now.
I'm just here to relax you, buddy.
I know you are. Well, you're a very relaxed guy, a cool cat for sure. Gabe is the owner of Utility Concierge. It is one of my favorite companies. I have been using it as a tool in my business for the last couple of years, and it right now still complimentary service when you go through an agent to help you set up all the connections. You know, you got all these things going on when you're trying to buy a house, and there's a bajillion calls you got to make, and you got the lender over here just beating you up for getting documentation, making you lift up the skirt, get naked and totally, bare in front of everyone. It's such a difficult process for anyone to go through. We do our best to make it easy, and we get a lot of compliments on that, so don't be too scared. But during that process, when you're making all those calls, it can be a little overwhelming. So Gabe's company actually is in place where you just make one call to a concierge, sets up all your utilities, your stinking security. If you want to move, they'll help you with that. Internet, everything you need. One call. They do it all. They make sure you get the best deal, and then they call you back with some updates. I got to tell you, in my house, that definitely saves some fights during the process. I mean, that's worth it enough. Plus, it doesn't cost you anything. It's a no-brainer. So I really appreciate you being on the show, Gabe, and I appreciate what you do for the community.
Thanks, buddy. Great. Happy to be here.
Yeah, no. After that endorsement, geez, you better be.
I really don't have anything to say. You said it all.
I did.
We're here to help.
You could have said your tagline.
You make selections, we make connections.
There you go. Come on, that's it.
We're here to help. That's what we're here for.
And then we got Matt Aycock for another great endorsement. We got Matt Aycock here, estate planner. And now on to the topics.
Wow.
Ouch.
Got me.
That hurt.
It was like 3 minutes and then, hey, Matt's here already then. Hateful. You missed it last week, Matt. It was really good. I turned the tables on him.
Oh, man, it was rough.
I got to couple little jabs. He was so stressed out after his vacation.
I was.
Good stuff.
It's getting back from the vacation that, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, real life again. This is what happened. I'm still stuck in kind of neutral.
Yeah, it definitely takes a while to readjust. I like to have at least a couple of days cushion whenever I get back to just get my senses about me.
Yeah, exactly. Opening up your room every day and not looking at the ocean and the beach is...
It's tough.
Depressing.
It's really tough. Makes you want to move, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does make you want to. But then I couldn't help all you fine people out there, so that would be a disappointment. It really would. But Matt is a estate planner. He is the owner of a partner in Pratt, Aycock and Associates. He's the Aycock in that. And you got a great team over there, man. And I know that, we got to get into this today. Gabe has had his initial meeting with you, hasn't he, about the estate plan?
We're getting close.
Okay.
He's told me he's filled out the forms.
I haven't
seen them yet. But
we had lunch.
Yeah, I think
he passed the forms over.
Okay.
Passed them to my wife. She filled them out, and they're sitting in my car.
Okay, so just so you guys...
you better.
First
step accomplished, buddy. High five.
That's good.
High five.
Okay, nice. So next week... By the way, don't take this as advice on how long you should take in working with your estate planner. Gabe's going to take a year to do this. This isn't going to work as well as we thought. But we'll try to give you the play-by-play. So he's got step one is done, getting the paperwork in. How was it super hard? I mean, you didn't do it.
I think this was just like a super initial form, like something I could have did right there.
Yes.
So it took my wife 2 minutes to do. So this might be like a half a step. I don't think it's going to count as a full step.
Well, Matt, is that a half a step, Matt?
Honestly, it's actually more than that because your situation, just from visiting with you over lunch, I have a pretty good understanding of what you want to have happen with your family. So a lot of that part of the conversation, I don't take in an intake form. I actually take it verbally, just talking through it. So that'll probably be all the paperwork you fill out.
Oh, nice.
Until we sign everything, of course. But
that's a lot easier. Still, that's a lot better than the mortgage business. My goodness. That's awesome. I can't wait. I really am curious because I still got to set mine up with you, too. We got to set that appointment. And it's got to happen with, I know, man. I've been out of town 10 out of the last 14 days. What do you want me to do? So, I got to do that, too. I'm just making sure it's safe. I'm kidding. You are.
I'll be the guinea pig.
Yeah, that's right.
Problem.
Well, I got to update all some of my stuff, and we've done some things together, but we got to do some more. So, okay. Here's what I wanted to say on before we go to this first break. Well, last week, Gabe, we got a lot of good response from your little cool talk on the electricity monitor thing. I can't even remember what it was. What is that all about?
Come up with a good name. It's an electricity RPM meter. So
like revving on your car, like RPM.
Revving on your car. So basically, one of the services we provide is a 2-gig security system. They're coming out with a new feature. Is going to be, they're called CT clamps, and they go on the outside of your breaker box, and it measures the electricity going in and out of your house. And so basically on your panel you have like an RPM meter, and so you can go and turn on everything in the house and say, okay, well, let's see how much money we can save. Let's turn these lights off. Let's turn the AC down. Let's change the temperature in the fridge. Let's turn TVs off, computers, and you can literally watch it drop. And you can also go in there and say, okay, well, I'm paying 9 cents a kilowatt. Hopefully you're paying that. If you're paying more than that, please call Andy and we can save you some money.
Good point.
You can put that in there and just go, you know what, I want to save $30 a month. This month I want to save $30. And it'll give you a graph and it'll track it and tell you how you're doing and, kind of help you save some money.
So, yeah, that's cool. So you can basically measure and be in control of, and maybe save a fight. Because if she's like, don't leave the TV on all day and it doesn't use anything, then you're fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can go, just shut the TV off. That's what it saves. And, we have a lot of trees around our house, so we don't really pay a whole lot of attention to the AC because we're pretty insulated. But, I mean, dropping the AC when you're gone during the day, that saves a ton of money. And then being able for it to kick on, an hour or a couple hours before you get home. So it's nice and cool when you get home instead of, when you get home, you crank it down to 68. That puts a strain on your unit, and it uses more electricity. Yeah,
that's good. I love that. And it keeps you in control. So if you want to find out more about that, and I would seriously do this, check your bill. See if you're paying more than 9 kilowatts per hour, right?
Yeah, if you're paying more than 9.5, you're paying too much. But like I said, we can take a look at that for you.
I
probably need to do that for you, Andy.
Yeah, you probably do.
What are you paying for your electricity?
Dude, I don't know. My wife, she wants to handle that stuff. I don't do that.
Typical.
That's so typical.
People know. I had a conversation with a potential partner the other day. They know they're paying too much money. but it's just such a pain in the butt. You know, it's going to take you at least an hour to do that.
Okay,
it's crazy.
That's at least a full hour to do that. Just like you with a 2-minute document. Oh, yeah. Just imagine how much it is for an hour. Okay, so that sounds awesome. Hey, look, you help me out with a lot of other stuff. I will check into the electricity. I will make a commitment to do that. You guys should, too. It is just one call. Look, I'm saying this is so easy. I'm right here with them.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to do that.
Hey, did you know we have an app?
I do know you have that, too. Yeah, okay. That's right. You can do it on the app.
But I'm getting the evil eye, so.
Yeah, that's right. I'm giving them the evil eye, man. So if you are interested and want to find out, and see if you can save money on electricity, because that is super important, super easy to do. And then this guy knows everybody. He's connected with all the companies, all the different things you need for your house. I love it. Makes it easy. So call us 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. We'll get you connected with Gabe so you find out if you can save some money on electricity or get that cool little RPM gauge and control how much money you're saving and what you're doing. When we come back, we're going to talk with Matt Aycock about how to protect yourself and find out if you're living smart. Next. Welcome back, Dallas. You're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network. I'm your host, Andy Tuttle. Thank you so much for joining me. We're getting right to our real-time real estate segment. There's a lot going on the street right now, and Chris Oleg from the Oleg Group at Halo Group Realty is here with us. Chris, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
You bet. I guess it's not really a stop by. I mean, you are on the phone somewhere else, but it's...
This is true. I didn't really know how to respond to that.
Stop lying to your audience, Andy. So, Chris, you have a pretty cool strategy, and I know you're on the show all the time, and I really appreciate what you do in the industry and your ideas. You've got a lot of great ideas to help people, and you've got a new one that you've been working on and seeing some success with. In fact, where are you right now?
I am actually currently in Amarillo, Texas, up in the Panhandle.
Oh, man, it sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds nice and cool and breezy.
It's nice. It's actually been raining the past few days, so we've been able to keep the doors and windows open while we work and catch a nice little breeze.
Well, what are you working on?
We are actually rehabbing a house right now, turning it into a rental property.
Okay, so speaking of rental properties, that's exactly kind of what you're saying your new strategy is. So tell us a little bit about that rental property strategy that's working right now in the market.
All right. So kind of like what we're getting people to do, and a lot of people have come to me with the interest of it, and I had to wait to see what the market did, but now it's starting to pay off. So what we're doing is we're getting people, first-time buyers or younger couples, maybe it's their second home. What they're doing is they're investing in larger properties, things they don't need to live in right now, but they want to maximize their buying power for the future by buying now because interest rates are good. And, we're seeing a rise in prices, so people are trying to get in early. So basically what they're doing is they're buying, say, a larger home, 4- or 5-bedroom home in the suburbs, but they still want to live in the city and kind of enjoy their nightlife right now. We're turning the larger homes into properties, and we're getting those rented out for them well above their mortgage amount. And then they're, able to enjoy a lower cost of living in the city or wherever they decide to live, an apartment or a condo. And then in 5 years, when they have kids and they have that need for a larger, 4- or 5-bedroom home, then they can move back into it. They've been paying off the equity through their rent property income. Over 5 years, they've seen an appreciation in prices. So they start building equity before they ever actually need it.
So, Chris, hey, it's Gabe. So I have a couple of rental houses, and this might be a question for Andy. How's that working with the loan? Loan for a younger couple, getting a loan for that second house. Are they having to put more money down? Does their credit have to be perfect?
Yeah, credit doesn't have to be perfect, and Andy's probably a better person to talk to about, credit scenarios or loan scenarios. What we're seeing a lot of is there's a lot of veterans, and they're coming back, and they want to use their VA loan. They might not necessarily need a house yet. They've been living in tents and smaller places overseas for so long. They don't have a need for all this stuff. They want to come back, and they want to use their VA loan, to invest in things. But they don't have kids, and some of them might be married, but they're not ready to make that jump into, military life to civilian life so quickly, but they still want to make that investment. And they're using their VA loans now, and then they're, renting an apartment and then moving back into them later. Now, there are a couple loan programs. Some of them faded away. Hopefully they start returning. Basically, for non-owner occupants, for investors, is very little money down. The specific program was called the VA Vindy loan program. I think Bank of America offered it. They did away with it just recently. We're not sure if anyone else is going to pick it up or not. But if so, it's a phenomenal loan to look at, and you don't have to be a veteran to use it.
Yeah,
but details on like those kind of programs, over time. But yeah, I mean, save a little bit of money, put some money down. Is probably the best way.
Right, definitely, exactly. That's the best way to do it if you want to look to get into a home, and you can get into a bigger home, but you don't need the space right now. Right. I think the basic strategy you're saying is, hey, maybe 3,000, 3,500 square foot space, a bigger space right now because the rental market is hard, which means that you get aggressive rents on them, higher rents than you would in a soft rental market. It's above what, like you say, you can make a profit. And so on these bigger homes, because rates are still so low, prices are on the rise, but they're not at their peak yet in the home price market. So this is a great time to get in at what will be lower rates and lower prices than next year, the year after that. So you can basically rent these properties out, if I'm understanding you correctly. And Some of the similar things we've been doing for a while, make a profit, make it a rental property, and then 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or whenever you're ready to move into that home, then you can now move into a home that you bought as an investment property 5 years ago, made profit on, had the mortgage paid down on, and you can go in there now at those lower rates because maybe rates are at 6.5 then, and you got it at 4.5 or whatever.
Correct. It's a backwards way of thinking. Most people will move into a house.
Well, you're a backwards way kind of guy.
What's up?
You're a backwards way kind of guy.
Absolutely. You have to think outside the box. You have to do things backwards sometimes in a market like this. And, this market is completely reversed from the market we just came out of. And you have to do things backwards in order for it to make sense. So it's just a way of thinking. That's like,
you have to stop thinking to really start thinking. Think about that, boys. Thanks, deep thoughts. Well, Chris, I appreciate you. I appreciate those kind of out-of-the-box type thoughts and strategies. If you want to get a hold of Chris on how you can do things backwards and make it work for you, you can call us 214-736-9696. He's out there. He's doing it right now with his clients for himself. He's making a profit at it, and he's making some he's really learning how to have his marketing and his strategies align with the market. You can, too. Call us 214-736-9696. We'll get you in touch with Chris. He'll show you how to do it. Chris, thanks so much for being with us today.
Always a pleasure, Andy.
All right, man. Have a good one. Have fun out there. Stay cool.
I'll do my best.
We'll see you. All right. You're listening to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Want to switch gears here a little bit to something I really am passionate about, and one of the reasons that Matt's here. At the end of the day, guys, one of the reasons I love my wife is she's just so smart. I mean, she's beautiful and sweet and all those lovely things. She's also very smart. And that's why apparently I alluded to in the first segment that we get in fights. No, we definitely don't get in fights. What she says is the way it is, and that's how it goes. So what do they say? When mama's happy, everybody's happy. Or when mama's unhappy, happy wife, happy life. And when mama's unhappy, nobody's happy. When daddy's unhappy, nobody cares. So that's the truth. But one of the things that she's been patient with me in my past is, man, I made bad decisions. And, we all have, but as I have an entrepreneurial type spirit and I get in there and I want to go after some things. And because of that, I've neglected some of the details you have to neglect. And I got lazy on some things. And I know a lot of you out there are like me. It's just what happens. You get busy. There's so many things to do and concentrate on. And it seems like, I'll be okay. It's not going to happen to me. Well, a couple of things here I really want to really kind of hit home with you for a second is a reminder that you do not pick the day or time that you leave this earth. It is not in your control. You can work out as much as you want and be as healthy, and those things are important and good, and you can do everything you can to guard yourself, but really, at the end of the day, you don't have control of that. I think some of the events that have happened in recent weeks are proof of that as well. For instance, the girl or the person on the plane, the Asiatic Air. You know what I mean? And then that happens in the back of the plane and one person, and then it's tragic. So in my own life, some things financially and otherwise I bought it's actually a partner in a college in Louisiana, hometown for you there, buddy.
Where at?
Baton Rouge.
Nice.
And But there was a dean of a college, of another college, went on with him to help him with his dream of this college. But it turned out he was actually not an honest man. And there was found out that the stuff he wanted to do, the dream, and he had good stuff written up in newspapers at another school and all these things. But getting into it, realized he really just wanted to fund his drinking habits. And, man, I wasn't protected for that. Didn't have proper entity protection set up for some things that I was doing there, and that exposed me. Another thing, and then, so that's on finance, right? But here's on life. Some things take a while. So I had a really dear friend of mine, sweet lady, and I went to college with her and knew her for a while. I used to live with her and another girlfriend of ours and another friend of mine 15 years ago. She had cancer. She had cancer since she was 12 years old. She had all of her, I don't know if it's six, all cervical. How many are there in the cervical spine, Brian?
There are 7.
7. All 7 cervical spine removed when she was 12 years old because she had brain tumors. And they would build up, and she fought hard. And I remember with her, she'd get real tired at night, and she had this magnetic bed that we'd put her on and have some people come over and sing songs to her sometimes when she was real pain. Walked through her with chemo and all that, and the brain tumors kept coming back, right? She fought so hard and was such a sweetheart. And I remember that several of us, sometimes it would look like she was faking, like she was tired, like she was using it as an excuse because we just don't understand. And then when she was alive, man, she was really alive. And she fought till she was about 25. And we all went up to New York one time to visit her. And I have some really good musician friends, luckily. And we were all in there at the hospital up in Brooklyn. And we were singing to her outside. And we'd wheeled her out there. And a lot of her friends lived up there. She moved to New York. She was an actor, gorgeous model, theater. It was great. She was so good. And wheeled her back up to her room. And it was just me and her. And she looked at me and she said, after fighting for so long, she goes, Andy, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's okay. It was one of the most touching moments of my life. And so what I'm saying is some things are drawn out like that, and you kind of know and can expect. But some things are immediate. Sometimes you send your kid off from Asia, and they don't call you when they land.
Yeah, and more often than not, people are not aware of when they're going to pass, and so you don't get the opportunity to plan for a specific date and time. We had a terrible tragedy, in our office, with a potential client. And I say potential client because they did visit with me about doing an estate plan and never did one. The family contacted me because they were aware that the person had met with me because they found a card of mine and they were hoping that I had a will or a copy of a will or something, which I did not because they never went through with it, not with me or anybody else. And so now that estate has some very significant difficulties coming to it, and there's nothing that can be done to really help them out.
And for literally a few $100s, depending on the complications, several $100s, guys, that could have been avoided.
Completely.
So what I want to do real quick, and I want to do this, we're going to go a little long on this segment before we go to break, is, Matt, there's 5 documents that you just should not live or die without. 5 of them, guys. This is not super complicated. And I want to go into a couple of those that it was relevant to that situation, and what could have protected them. Mm-hmm. So Matt, what could they have done? What are one or two of the documents here in our time that we have?
Well, the big one, of course, that they should have done in that situation is had a will in place. The uniqueness of their relationship was that they had been with the same person for a very long time, but for whatever reason, never went through getting married. Having spoken to them, I know that they wanted everything to go to their would-be spouse that they never actually married, but instead they never did anything to make that happen with a will or with marriage or anything else. And so everything else is going to their parents, who do not get along with the significant other. So it's going to get pretty messy. There may be a common law marriage suit. I mean, there's a lot of things that could happen out of it. And a will would have fixed 100% of it, because you just probate the will. The will says everything goes to this person and you're done. And probate's cheap here in Texas. Most people are scared of it, but it's extremely cheap. And it's certainly
What is probate for the audience, real quick?
Well, that's where you take the will and you file it with the court. You have a person called a probate attorney. They take it down there, they file it. It appoints somebody, the executor of your estate, and they can act on your behalf now that you're no longer in distributing your property based on your wishes. What most people don't know is if you don't probate a will, it does nothing. It only does something after you die when it's probated. And so that's one of the big things that people aren't aware of. But in Texas, a probate, maybe like $1,500 tops. The amount of money I would estimate the battling parties on that particular fact pattern I told you will end up being paid to attorneys from both sides and everything else. It wouldn't surprise me if that number got somewhere between $30,000 to $40,000.
Good God! So Matt, if for a couple of hours a time, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, maybe two.
Maybe two. Gosh, and a few $100.
Yeah.
You could avoid all of that. Do you want thousands of dollars, tens of thousands potentially going to attorneys at probate because something happens that you weren't prepared? Do you want to leave that to your family? Is that the legacy you want to leave them? Is that what you want them to have to be dwelling on? Or do you want to invest a couple of hours and cut out lattes for a month?
Yeah.
And eating out if you have to do that. And most of you don't have to. You can afford it. Just take the time. And here's what you want to find out if you're living smart. You want to see if you're happy with what happens to you. If you die today, text, get out your phones and text talk now. One word, talk now to 72727. The number is 72727. And you text the word, all one word, no spaces, talk now. And we will get you connected. We will find out the other 4 documents that you need to have that can absolutely change the way what happens when you die. Find out if you're living smart. That's it. That's all you got to do. And then if you're not happy with it, guess what? You can get connected with Matt right through there, right through the text. We'll get you connected, and we'll make sure that you are protected and that your family doesn't go through this because it's real stuff. But for just a couple of hours, you can really set it and forget it. Do that. Text talk now to 72727 or call us 214-736-9696, and we will get you protected today. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Dallas. You're listening to Tuttle Talk on the Real Estate Radio Network every Sunday, 3 to 4 p.m. right here on 660 a.m. The Answer. I am your host, Andy Tuttle. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm here with good friends and great professionals, Gabe Abshire, Utility Concierge, and Matt Aycock over at Pratt Aycock and Associates, and then, of course, our own tech guru, who we're going to get to in a minute, also is the show producer, Brian Moore. Thank you guys for being here. In the last segment, we were talking about the small things you can do to protect yourself and to protect your assets. And I'm very serious about that. It's simple stuff. You can go do it. It doesn't cost a lot of money. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it will save you so much time and your family so much time and anguish later on when, not if, that day comes and you pass. And you can get that information and find out if you're living smart. Find out if you like the results right now. If you died, what would happen? You can do that by texting TALK NOW, all one word, no spaces, to 72727. Text TALK NOW, one word, no spaces, to the number 72727. You can find out if you're living smart right now. You can also call us 214-736-9696, and we'll definitely take care of you. And the point of all that, and what I was going in those stories in the last segment with Matt, was to tell you that I don't want those things for you, and I didn't know any better way to do it than start a show. And it's good. It's good to be able to do that and to be able to tune into something where hopefully you can hear from experts. I've dealt with horrible credit experts. I've been screwed by an estate planner. I've had to mess around with all kinds of utilities and these kind of things. And I don't want you to be taking advantage of that. And so I've worked very hard to work with the top professionals around, that they do great work. They have really big hearts and they know what they're doing, and they've got a track record of taking care of people, so that you can have a place where you can go, yeah, if I need help in finance or I need help with this in real estate, I know people to call, because that's hard to do. So that's what this show's about. That's why we're here every week to do it. And that's why these people are on this show, because I want better for you than what happened to me. So I want to get back, because I want to get some clarification. We mentioned, we threw something out there about the VA VND loan when we were talking with Chris about investment property. And Gabe, first of all, your parents had some experience with that.
They did, yeah. We found them over in a property about 10 months ago, maybe a year ago, in Grand Prairie, and it's a great program. It was basically all the VA foreclosures were opened up to the public, and Bank of America was managing it, and it's kind of just on hold right now. But if that opens back up, it'd be a great program because there's a ton of VA loans.
And we'll keep
VA
you posted on it. Right. It's 3.5% down.
It was 3.5% down. No, I'm sorry, 5% down. Yeah. 3.5% interest.
Right.
So for rental properties, it's a no-brainer.
Well, and the kid, like, your parents aren't veterans. I mean, they're not.
That's the key.
Sure.
You know, a lot of people don't understand that it's not for just veterans. It's veteran-owned real estate is the issue. It was a VA loan that they foreclosed on, and now they're trying to sell it. So they offer these types of programs to anybody. But one of the things that we see, because we handle a lot of the creditor representation as part of our practice, we see that they will limit the buyers initially to primary, like people buying for their primary residence. And then after a period of, 45, 60 days, depending on what they set as the metrics, that's when they open it up to the rental property guys. And that's when so whenever you're talking to your agent, you need to ask them that, whenever they're looking for these properties, are we within a window to where I can't buy it yet? And once you get past that point in time, then you can submit your offer.
Yeah, so let's get clarification on that. And this isn't just for VA foreclosures, but HUD foreclosures as well, Fannie Mae foreclosures.
Fannie Mae. Mm-hmm.
And so it's the same process. Primary owners, people that are going to live in that property, get the first crack at it, and then 30 to 45 days after that, investors can come up and get a crack at these properties. And so Gabe has it actually set up right now where you had an agent looking like, look, you wanted a certain equity, you wanted a certain margin on the deal, right?
It was so good. I mean, I think it was like, man, I don't want to see anything that's. I think our threshold was 35 to 40% profit.
Right, and so you got to look. There are opportunities out there. You can work with good. If your agent doesn't know what this is about, and you bring this up to them, and they just kind of blank stare at you like a deer in headlights, and you run them over, then call us. That's what I deal with agents all over. These guys, expert contributors, deal with agents that understand that market, understand what to do to help you, and understand the answers to those questions, and can help you set up a plan if you want to get into the investment property game, if you want to buy and hold, or if you want to, which you need to be sophisticated to do this and not a speculator, because it's just stupid. If you want to flip short term, but this is not get rich quick, real quick.
We have a couple of rental properties, and we've flipped a couple of homes, and been doing this probably 5, 6, 7 years, and every mistake you've got to learn from something. In the last flip that we did, the lesson I learned is that you got to have a realtor, hands down. Build it into the price. If the realtor's commission doesn't work with the deal, then it's not a deal. And we learned that we held a property for over a year. And it took us 8 months to put a realtor on it.
And your holding costs are huge.
That was
your cost to carry ridiculous.
And that was a year of hard money. We still end up making a little bit of money, but imagine if we had a realtor on it, sold it in 3 months, done, would have made a
Man, I hope you hear that. If you're not working with a realtor that you feel is adding value that can find that deal out for you, then you're just working with the wrong realtor. That's all that says. It doesn't mean you don't work with a realtor. It means you work with an expert. If you need that expert or you want to find one, 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696, or go to andytuttle.com. I will connect you. We will get you with an expert that can help you. Coming up, we're going to get into our deal or no deal. I'm very excited about this. And we're going to get into our news segment, which is More Tech with your tech guru, Brian Moore. All that next. Welcome back, Dallas. Thank you for joining Tuttle Talk here for the fourth and a final segment of the day. Oh, my gosh, it's coming to an end. I know you're sad. I'm sad. I think we had a really good show today. A lot of great content and real stuff, guys. It's easy. It's not as hard as you think. Don't let people overcomplicate this for you. It's not complicated, but it is difficult sometimes unless you have the right team around you. When you're looking at your finance, you're looking at your real estate, you're looking at building a prosperous future. Man, that's what we're here for. We're here to help you make that process easier, help you get to those goals, get to that future, and have a strong quality of life while you're doing it. So if you want to find out more about that ambiguous statement I just gave, call us 214-736-9696, 214-736-9696. Remember, you can always get on the conversation at facebook.com/Tuttle Talk. We'll always give you some inspiration, some good content, tips, what's going on in the area, and how you can help grow, get you some advice on how you can have a better financial and otherwise future But now, time to focus on my man, show producer, and tech guru, Mr. Brian Moore. How you doing today, Brian?
Doing well, thank you, Andy.
Are you ready for this?
I think so. I've been doing my research.
Okay, well, good. Now, guys, this is it. This is a new segment we're doing. It's called More Tech.
More cool tech.
Oh, yeah, more cool tech.
Ah, get it right.
Hey, so see how upset he gets? See what I have to deal with? More cool tech with your tech guru, Brian Moore. Brian, in this, I know you've been keeping this from me, keeping it a surprise from me. I'm very interested to hear what cool tech that you have for us. It better be big. This is the first one.
I'll tell you what, this one is actually really incredible. I almost didn't want to have it first because it sets the bar too high.
I was going to say, this is going to go down from here, folks. Let's see how this goes. You're going to start here, and it's going to be like, no, it's going to be great. It better be, because otherwise you're fired.
Great. All right.
No pressure.
No pressure, no. So what I have is an app called Home Snap. You know, if you think about, just snap, like, oh, snap. You know, it's Home Snap. And it think of it as Shazam for real estate.
Okay.
So you know how Shazam, you hear something you like, you tap a button, and oh, look, it's telling me all about what I'm listening to. Home Snap works the same way with a house. You can be walking around your neighborhood, driving around somewhere, be like, wow, I really like that house. I want to know more about it. Pull out your phone, take a picture, and bam, you have information on this house. And just as a little bit of research, I went around today snapping pictures of places that had for sale
that's where
signs.
you went for your long lunch, working.
I have proof. I went around.
Let me see that.
I found, there you go. I found places for sale and places not even listed for sale and just started taking pictures.
What?
Yeah. And I think there's like a little blue arrow
Look at
to
all
the
the
right.
pictures inside, man. It's connecting you right to the pictures. You don't have, there's no downtime.
Yeah, it connects with MLS info, property tax info, everything of public record. Even though Texas is a non-disclosure state, there's still a wealth of information to pull from. It'll tell you what schools that house is zoned for, what kind of property taxes to expect for a year.
You were in a nice neighborhood today, sir.
Right around the corner from our office. I mean, it's kind of the Addison area. It's a nice place.
It tells you the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the lot size, the square footage, the type. It tells you the year it was built. It even tells you the MLS number. If you already have an agent or you want to go find one, you can find out exactly way more about it. That's a great app.
Yeah, key info. Having that MLS number, let your agent know if you're trying to find an agent. Have that number handy. Just tell them it's MLS number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that agent will automatically be able to pull up every bit of information about the property, who's selling it, and get you in contact with the right people. And one cool thing about this app, it's available for both iPhone and Android, of course. It was actually revealed here in Texas. It made its debut at South by Southwest in Austin.
Okay,
back in March. So it's kind of a local favorite already, and has already been all over the news and across the country, Philadelphia, New York, Washington. I mean, it's big.
So how much does this app cost?
The amazing thing, it is completely free.
I love that.
You gotta love that, yes. They started off as a real estate company in, I want to say, California. But, it's a free app. The information, as you saw, is incredible. Very detailed information.
I'm downloading it right now.
There you go. It's just Home Snap, all one word.
That's wonderful. Beth, sweetheart, if you're listening, I know you're probably out there taking pictures of homes in our neighborhood that you've been wanting to find out more about. So now you can do that. You don't have to do anything. Just take a picture and it puts it right on your phone.
And if you don't want to look like some weirdo going around taking pictures of somebody's house, they have a stealth mode.
Oh,
yeah.
How does that work? You got to put the thing up to take a picture.
You would think so, but you hit the stealth mode and it basically, just utilizing the GPS in your phone, zooms right in on the area, and you can pick a house without having to take a picture of it.
Oh, man, that is good.
Yes.
I like that. We'll go on our little walk and we'll just beep, beep, beep. Find out about every house in our neighborhood. I love it. So anything else we need to know about this app?
Really, that's it. Just if you're in the home for looking for in the market for a new home.
You want to start over on that one?
Let me try that again.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. If you are in the market looking for a home, or you're trying to sell your home and you want to get an idea of what other homes around you are selling for, what kind of information is available on them, download this app, take a picture of your house, the house you're interested in, your neighbor's house, your friend's house. Get all the information you can, because information is power.
Oh, that's pretty good, buddy. Did you write that today?
I literally just came up with that on the spot. What do you think?
Wow, that is pretty impressive. I am impressed with that and the research on the app. That is cool. Now, are you going to be able to follow that up next week?
Yes, I do have a couple more apps in mind already.
Got them in the can.
Got them in the can.
Okay, I can't wait to hear about it next week. If you want to tune in every week, we're going to have it at the end of the show. You'll be able to hear more about the more cool tech.
More cool tech. And I will, even since I control your website, I'm going to create a section.
My life.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I know everything, probably
too much.
Maybe not quite as much as your wife, Beth, knows, but it's pretty close.
Oh, man, that's not healthy. We're not having a healthy conversation right now. It started in the tank and it's going lower.
Yeah, funny thing is, Andy, your mother called me on the way over here.
That's weird. Now this conversation is just...
It's weird, but it's true.
Well, you know,
I'm going over there tomorrow night.
You know why that is, though? That gives you credibility to the tech guru, because I guarantee you that's about her computer.
It actually is, yes. She's having issues.
Okay. So there's no piece of tech you can give this guy that he can't figure out what to do with it. He's a web developer and a coder by heart, by soul. Actually, he's a medicine man by heart and soul, but he is very, very good at everything tech. So thank you, Brian. Can't wait to have you back.
Yes, glad to do it.
Yeah, good stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to download more apps and fill up my phone even more. I can't handle what I have on it right now, but still, I'll just start deleting other things. Okay, guys, you're listening to Tuttle Talk here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Really, that's it for today. I want to leave you with a couple of thoughts here. I go into boot campaign very quickly every week, but it's so important. It was started by 4 wives of military soldiers, and you get these boots. You wear boots. You can buy dog tags and shirts and all this stuff, and it supports several different military charities. It's such an important thing. I don't care what your stance is politically. Support the troops. They're doing good things. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy on the wives. It's not easy on anybody. And you can go to bootcampaign.com and support those troops and wear your boots, take pictures of them, and post them on our site. We wear our boots the first Friday of every month and take pictures of them, and we want to try to get awareness, and we want your help to do that. So get involved there. Remember, if you'd like to discuss anything, you want to find out more about the boot campaign, the tech spot, about how to find out about your own, how to protect your assets, find out if you're living smart, and you're going to be good, and your family's going to be good on that day that you finally leave this earth. Man, call us, 214-736-9696. You want to find out about how to buy those investment properties and use that strategy, 214-736-9696. I'd like to thank my expert contributors for today. I'd like to thank you, Brian, and Matt, and Gabe, and our good production director, Dan Bradford, and our lovely account executive here today, Sarah, in studio. She's the best. These guys take great care of us. The whole family here at 660 AM The Answer. We want to say thanks. We'll be back next week with more great real estate and finance tips. Thank you for listening to Tuttle Talk, where we're making financial intelligence a priority in the community. Have a great weekend.
You've been listening to Tuttle Talk on 660 AM The Answer. You can reach Andy at 214-736-9696. That's 214-736-9696. Or email him questions@andytuttle.com. Don't forget to become a fan of his show by going to facebook.com/Tuttle Talk.